is going to be about the artist Malice, formerly known as No Malice. I'm not sure if he changed his name back or not. But this is the spiritual aspect and spiritual viewpoint that I have of this man's return and his success and the name and the importance of the names. Now, their very last album is called Let God Sort Them Out. So he and his brother Pusha T have a group called the Clipse. So if you're a hip hop head, even if you're not, you probably seen something, some news headline or something about this group in the latest album that they've had come out. It's actually pretty good. I've been a fan of the Clipse for quite a while. They've been around and out for quite a while. Now, you might be asking, oh, what this has to do with spirituality. Everything has everything to do with spirituality because everything harnesses a spirit, even if it is, something that is not moving. It still harnesses some type of energy. So, the Clips, in my opinion, are underrated. They're very talented brothers. They've been around a long time. Their return is a wonderful testament that talent overrides age because unfortunately in hip hop, older artists get counted out. And like I said, the main topic of this video is a spiritual connection of No Malice's return. Okay, and this is No Malice that I'm showing right here on this picture. His original name, as I stated, was Malice. But, you know, he stepped away from hip hop, or the normal hip hop, and he went into the gospel sector for a while, and he didn't quite get the attention or support that I think he should have, or that he wanted or needed, because that's a message that a lot of these young kids and people just in general need to hear. But now he's back. He's back to the original style of hip hop, and he's back with a vengeance. His rhymes are so livid and vivid, and I just love his um his presentation and how he delivers it. Pusha T as well. But No Malice is just something about him now. He is just back with a different vibe and aura about himself that is hard to not see, and I feel that he's being very smooth and deliberate, and he's actually on a mission to shut down haters, and he is doing his own thing. He doesn't care what people are saying about him. He doesn't care how people are looking at him. He's standing up on his values and his morals, and he's doing it while having one foot in, quote unquote, the world. All right. So I love the underdog, the people that get counted out, and you can tell that No Malice is a problem. He is not to be messed with because he's so quiet. He's always in the background of Pusha T, but he always seems very supportive of his little brother. But now I'm seeing that he's probably been the one behind um, a lot of the music and the writing, from what I heard and read. So he's kind of always been that strength and that backbone, even though he's been in the background. He went and he found himself a few years ago, like a little over 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. He left the group, and now he just seems free. Okay. So John 6 and 8 says, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed. And this man, to me, I feel he has truly found his freedom. Okay, and he quotes scriptures a lot too, and he doesn't have any shame in that, even though he has come into, the world, the normal world of hip hop again. I'm gonna try to get to some of you all's comments here. Hi, Ashcock. Hi, Josh, class of 2020. You're brand new to the channel. Hi. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. That's why you F with Malice, right? Yeah, this guy is on a mission, Grady, and you can hear it in his delivery, his tone. Please show me your face. You can go on my other you can go on my posts, you can go on my other videos, and you can see my face. But this is about Malice today, and so that's why I have him projected here. So Even in one of his songs, Malice even references the tribe of Judah. Okay, and if you know, you know. I'm not even going to go into that, but um, I just truly feel that he knows himself now and he has tapped into his God-given talent. And also in one of his songs, he said that his dad gave him the okay, his blessing to return to the world of hip hop. He said to use your voice and use your talent to get out what it is you have to get out, you know? And some people may say you can't serve both God and the devil at the same time, and hip hop is the devil and evil and things of that nature. But um, there's a time and a season for everything, and there are going to be prophets and teachers and preachers and leaders that do not look like what they looked like in the past. They are not going to look like what we expect them to look like. And that's what people don't get. Even from the Jaguar Wrights to the Charleston Whites and all of that. You have to weed out the foolishness and get the actual message that these people are saying, because they say some really profound things, okay? And we are dealing with a new generation, and so the traditional church has been done away with. They're not even going to church or want to hear anything that the church has to say. So we're going to have to be able to deliver the message by unconventional means. And that's just the way it is. So I feel that Malice, he's getting and he's sharing the message through his talent of being a rapper. Okay. And he had to leave and he had to come back to be appreciated. He had to leave and he had to come back to be heard for whoever needs to hear him. The Clipse, they're 50 years old, but they have proven that they and hip hop is still alive and is relevant and is effective. And I feel again like this is a spiritual video that I am making of the return of No Malice. I think it's important to dig into his name and what it means. Malice is to bring about strife and evil and contention and problems. And he changed his name, like I said, to No Malice when he went into the gospel sector. But now he's back. I don't know if he's changed his name back to Malice or not, or if he's still No Malice, but the man is still malicious. He seems like he came back even more malicious. And I love it personally. And another thing I wanted to tap on, since I am talking about the spiritual connection of No Malice's return to hip hop, remember that the 12 disciples were no angels. Okay, these men had tempers. There were money launderers. They, had all types of other issues. There were liars, cheaters, deceivers, deceptors, backstabbers, all of those things. Those were the 12 disciples. However, Yeshua, whatever you want to call him, still felt the connection and the need to use these men because they were imperfect. He knew that the people that they were going to be fishing after were not perfect as well. So they had to be relatable. And that's that's just one of those things. A lot of our prophets and preachers, some of these preachers have some pretty ugly past and some shanky past. So if you dig into them, you'll be shocked sometimes, of the pimps and the drug dealers that are actually turned to pastors. So this can prove that, basically anyone can be used for the greater good. It takes warriors to win souls. You have to meet people where they are. And hip hop, no doubt, has the whole world's ear. You can say whatever you want to say about American culture, African American culture, but we have created a style of music here that touches every part of the world, and every part of the world tries to emulate. So with that being said, having the world's ear is a blessing and a curse. However, I feel that No Malice is using that to his advantage. He knows he has the world's ear. And this rollout that they did has been like nothing I have seen in a very, very long time. So I am extremely happy and excited for them. Of course, some of the lyrics can be changed, but it's about the bigger picture, like I said, and the message behind it, because you have to actually listen to what he is saying. Listen to the words that are coming out of his mouth and the message that he's trying to get across. So him being back is definitely going to bring someone or some people closer to their purpose, I feel. And you can, and he has proven that you can live in a dual world, because we all live in a dual world, no matter what you say. You can't be of so heavenly good that, you know, you're not of any earthly good. You're going to have to do both. It's just impossible not to. You're living in a physical body on this earth. However, we're spiritual beings, and we have to find a balance between the two, because there's good and evil, and there's evil inside of good. And you can tell that Pusha T, he took it hard when his brother left the group for a while, but he has a great respect for his older brother Malice, and he respects the decision that he had to make for himself. You know, sometimes people just have to pull back, and they have to go the route that's less traveled in order to find themselves, and for them to be at peace and listen to their creator, because we all have a different path. And sometimes people aren't going to agree, sometimes people aren't going to understand, but I like the fact that Pusha T actually respected the path that his brother had to take. You know, another thing I wanted to mention is the fact that in this album, they kept saying that this is culturally inappropriate. This is culturally inappropriate. But I thought of it from a different aspect. I said, okay, who is it culturally inappropriate for? Um, and I look at that two ways. I think that is culturally inappropriate because Malice is infusing his belief in scriptures and faith inside of, you know, the more accepted form of hip hop. And I also look at it because when they kept saying this is culturally inappropriate, that this is not made for every culture. This is not made for everyone. Who is supposed to get it is going to get it. And who's supposed to get his message is going to get it. So it will be culturally inappropriate for some people. I feel like this is exactly what hip hop needed. You know, we needed a break from some of the other forms of rap. This is rap in lyrics that you can actually hear, you can understand, you can decipher the words and the lyrics. And I give my flowers to the Clipse. I give my flowers to No Malice, the Malicious. That's my new name for him, because this man came back even more maliciouser than he was before. I just made up my own name for it. But yeah, flowers to Malice, No Malice, the more malicious. And again, this is a spiritual video. This is not me being a hip hop expert or connoisseur of any means. It's just that I try to find the spiritual balance and the spiritual aspect and viewpoint of things every time I see something or I encounter something, because it all has to work together for the greater good. And I want to thank you all for watching and listening. And another thing I'd like to urge you to do is always look up the meaning of names. And Clipse doesn't necessarily have a meaning, but eclipse does. And it is celestial bodies that cover other celestial bodies. So however you want to look at that and dig into that, I urge you to do so. And again, I want to thank you all for watching and listening, and you all be blessed.